You guys probably know how much I love the Paper Mario series, and the Mario RPGs as a whole. They express and showcase the Mario world in many ways that even the mainline Mario games can't. They're capable of having more interesting stories, scenarios, and characters, which is partially why they're so enjoyable to me. Even the gameplay is a fun take on the RPG formula, since it mixes many iconic Mario elements and even a bit of action-based mechanics on top of an already well-established formula. While we've gotten many great Mario RPGs over the years, this all stemmed from one game, Super Mario RPG. This game is the introduction of many of the features that we got to know and love between the Paper Mario and Mario & Luigi series. It was also important for RPGs in general, since it helped popularize and revolutionize action-based timed hits in RPGs. So this is why I was beyond excited to see this game remade. So now that I've played this remake, let's look at some of the features that make this release very special and definitely worth playing. Over the past decade, the Mario RPGs have been through a bit of a weird limbo. The Paper Mario games did their own thing and had strict limitations over the story and characters. The Mario & Luigi series slowly fizzled away until Alpha Dream unfortunately filed for bankruptcy in 2019. So the future of Mario RPGs was uncertain for quite a while. The closest thing we've gotten to a full return was the Mario plus Rabbids games, but even those were strategy RPGs, and were still very far from traditional Mario RPGs. But fortunately, this era is finally over. We ended up getting the Super Mario RPG Remake, as well as a Thousand Year Door remake releasing next year. Super Mario RPG was really the perfect game to start a Mario RPG renaissance, since it is the original Mario RPG and all. The way they handled this remake is excellent, and it was developed by Arte Piazza, who made the Dragon Quest remakes on Nintendo handhelds, as well as other projects like Opuna on the Wii. This developer was honestly a great choice, as this game has a level of quality that you would expect from a first-party Nintendo title. On top of that, this remake is very faithful to the original, meaning that no charm or creativity was lost. Well, we did lose Neo Squid, which is a bit disappointing, but at least they kept Bazooka Toad. So overall, the Mario RPG remake is excellent. It has different amazing qualities that I will discuss. Mario RPGs are known for having creative and unique battle systems, and with a couple of exceptions, these battle systems are mostly fun and engaging. Super Mario RPG is no exception. The battle system has quite a lot to offer, and this remake adds even more interesting features. The action commands already added a level of action that isn't normally implemented in traditional RPGs, and were definitely a defining feature in the original game. In the remake, they are even more satisfying to pull off, and add more visual flair and feedback akin to the later Mario RPGs. For example, when doing a perfect block, it shows a force field in front of the character, which looks really cool, and on top of that, they add a visual indication of when to press a button. At first, it seems like it makes pulling off action commands a bit too easy, but this pop-up doesn't appear after you master that action command, so I actually really like this feature, since some of the moves in the original had very little indication of when you do the timed hit, and the game really relies on these action commands quite a lot. Another change they made to the battles is the splash damage when you do a perfect action command. It's pretty satisfying to pull off, and it does feel fairly balanced, so it doesn't make the game too easy. They also added special enemies, which is a fairly similar concept to the special enemies for Paper Jam, and they appear very frequently, which definitely helps compensate for these new battle mechanics. The biggest addition to battles, by far, is the triple moves and the combo system, which definitely helps this game set apart from the other Mario RPGs. Basically, with this combo system, every consecutive action command leads to a combo, and the combos fill up a limit break meter. There's also a beat that's added onto the battle system when you do 5 or more combos, similar to the front-running beat in Mario Kart, and it sounds really good, so it makes pulling off combos feel very satisfying. Chains also reward you with an ally buff, which puts even more incentive on the action commands. Once the meter reaches 100%, you can pull off a triple move, which can deal massive damage to the enemies or benefit your party in other ways. Each combination of party members has a different move, making for 6 total triple moves, which is great and allows you to strategize in battles. You can even switch characters in battles, similar to the first 2 Paper Mario games, which is also amazing, and it definitely adds to the strategy on top of this. They also have beautiful cinematic cutscenes with these triple moves, which is amazing, and it adds to the charm of this remake. They didn't have to put this much effort into it, but it goes to show how much they cared about this remake, and it's incredible. They really put so many little touches here that made the battle system and all of these new mechanics so amazing. And this battle system in general definitely rivals the Thousand Year Door and the Mario & Luigi series as having one of the best Mario RPG battle systems. One staple of the Mario RPGs that you generally don't find in the mainline titles is a well-written and interesting story. While Super Mario RPG's story really isn't that deep, it's still very fun and definitely meets the expectation of a story in a Mario RPG. Basically, a giant sword named Exor shatters the Star Road and crashes into Bowser's Keep, causing 7 star pieces to fly across the world. Meanwhile, the Smithy Gang, which is a group of villains based off of weapons, try to capture the star pieces, so Smithy can take over the world. And it's up to Mario and the party members that join him to retrieve the star pieces, defeat the Smithy Gang, and restore Star Road. I really like the theming around the weapons here with the Smithy Gang. It makes them feel very distinct and have a unique identity. It's almost comparable to the Shroobs from Partners in Time, or the Legion of Stationery from Origami King, considering the fact that they're based on inanimate objects, and then also pulling from Partners in Time because they're very otherworldly and alien-like. But in the case of the latter, they have more distinct and memorable designs with a clear origin compared to the Legion of Stationery, which is honestly how I feel they should have handled those in Origami King. So, Mallow and Geno are the major characters original to this game, and they're both very memorable and add quite a lot to the story. Mallow is a frog. Yes, he's totally a frog. He was lost as a baby and was raised by Frog Fuchsius, or called Frog Sage in the remake. So you have to help him find his long-lost parents while he helps you to restore Star Road. Mallow actually has a great character arc in this game, and he goes from being a sad and having a low self-esteem to being more courageous overall. Geno is also very interesting as well, despite not having as developed as a character arc. Geno is a star from Star Road sent by a higher authority, presumably the Star Spirits, to restore Star Road. Geno is definitely tied with Mallow as my favorite character in the game, since he has a really cool design and has many memorable moments. Peach and Bowser also join your party, which are portrayed well in this game too. I really like Bowser's personality, since he starts off as usually demanding and intimidating, to being more understanding and even forgiving of his minions later in the game, for example with Goomhild in Monstro Town. There are many subplots and moment-to-moment scenarios mixed into the general story, which are very fun and add up quite a lot to this game. Some of my favorites include rescuing Peach from Booster, dueling against Jonathan Jones, and freeing the Toads from Seaside Town and Spiritovich, stopping Valentina and Dodo from overthrowing King and Queen Nimbus. So yeah, there are many interesting things that happen in this game, and many memorable characters in general, which is definitely a factor that makes this game great. One thing that many may notice about this remake is the fact that it looks beautiful, and it recreates every area in this game very well. This is honestly the golden standard for a faithful remake because it puts so much effort into making this game look modern while retaining all of the elements that made the original game great. I really like how a lot of the models blend with the style of the original along with the modern Mario style. In the Mario & Luigi remakes, some of the characters were completely redesigned to fit the modern style, so I'm glad that they respected the original designs to keep many of the elements of them there. I also love how the backgrounds look too. Rather than being empty voids like the original, they're filled in with beautiful scenery to help make each area feel lived in. And the fact that this remake is 3D in general and recreates everything with full HD 3D graphics is really doing justice to the original game, because the original game kind of had a 3D style going for it since it used pre-rendered sprites and had that sort of an isometric angle to it. So it was replicating 3D in the original, but now we actually have something in 3D with this remake. And another thing are the cutscenes. The cutscenes are definitely a highlight when looking at this game's presentation. They're animated very well, almost on the level of Smash reveal trailers or the cutscenes in the recent Paper Mario games. It definitely adds a lot of impact to the important moments in this game, such as the opening, character introductions, boss encounters, and the ending. Apparently, these were created by Nintendo Pictures, which is an animation studio that was recently acquired by Nintendo. This is likely their first project after being bought by Nintendo. I can't really confirm this, but this does seem likely to be the case. Either way, these cutscenes look absolutely amazing, and I really hope we see cutscenes like this in more Mario games, including the mainline games. One final aspect that I wanted to look at is some of the new elements and content that was added in this remake. The base game already had a good amount of content in general, since it took about 15 hours to beat, and about 20 to 30 hours to 100%. It's relatively short for an RPG, but it is kind of reasonable for Mario RPG standards, since it's about the same length as Superstar Saga or Super Paper Mario. But this remake adds even more things to do, on top of the features that the original game had. After you beat the main story, challenging post-game bosses become available, and these are honestly some of the best bosses in the game. They have the perfect level of challenge that I've been looking for in the Mario RPGs, and I really hope post-game bosses become a mainstay in the Mario RPGs. These bosses are also pretty unique as well, and their mechanics actually work a lot differently from the regular counterparts. Like, for example, during Johnny's post-game match, you only use Mario like the second half of the base version, and you can't use items at all, so it's heavily reliant on blocking and action commands. Another really cool addition is the journal included in the menu. This includes the monster list, scrapbook, sound player, and play report. All of these features are really cool, but the two things that stand out to me are the monster list and scrapbook. The monster list is basically like a mixture of the Piclopedia from Pikmin and the Tatalog from Thousand Year Door. It shows the stats, thought peak entry, and animations of every enemy in the game. Then the scrapbook shows different events from the story in the perspective of Geno and Mallow, which adds a lot to an already fun story. So overall, there is quite a lot of new content, which adds even more to an already complete feeling remake. So anyways, Super Mario RPG is absolutely incredible. It's a great way of playing Mario's first RPG, and it's great that we finally have something to fill the void of a traditional Mario RPG, along with the Thousand Year Door remake. I really hope this is the start of something new in the modern era, and I really hope we continue to get Mario RPGs, and Nintendo continues to bring them back. We are also at the start of a new era of Mario in general, and this remake is kind of symbolic of that, because it's kind of similar to Wonder in the sense where it breaks free from the general conventions and expectations from Mario. So overall, I definitely recommend this game to both fans of the original and people trying this game for the first time. It's definitely a great RPG to start with if you haven't touched the genre before, because it's very beginner friendly. I also highly recommend this game to Paper Mario fans and Mario & Luigi fans who have been wanting a new game or have been waiting for the Thousand Year Door remake, and especially those who somehow haven't played the original Mario RPG yet. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.